Hi everybody, it's Diane here with a bunch of stuff. My collage fodder, didn't use it yet box was overflowing. And if anybody recalls, I used to go through that stuff and put it in a smash book. Well, that book is full and I don't have another book to put that kind of stuff in. So what are you going to do with all that stuff, Diane? I don't know. Well, why don't we make some masterboards and just see what happens? That's old. They could be, I could just leave them as just boards and, use them as the occasion arises. I could make them into journal cards, tags, ATCs, notebook covers. I don't know. That remains to be seen. So we're just looking at a bunch of cool stuff and kind of arranging it. I'll glue off camera. But yeah, I thought that was a pretty good idea. I thought of putting, a page or two of this stuff in my current glue book, but technically that's a collections book, so this doesn't really go with it. Does that matter? No, but so we're just looking at stuff and probably trimming and cutting and saying that's crooked as I go. But this is all stuff, I have saved from, a number of different sources. This is magazine. Um, I guess it's magazine. But you think, oh, that's cool. But you never do anything with it. An old Clorox ad, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, what are you going to do with it? I don't know. And you never do anything with it. Yes, you could throw this stuff in the recycle bin, but it's cool. Need some smaller-ish stuff. And I already had one of these. This is the second one of these, so even if it's the coolest image on the planet, how many do you have to have? Those two are damaged. Does that matter to anybody? Well, maybe I won't use them here. The old McCalls. This feels like the back cover. Well, a cover, and I'm sure it's back. They don't put stuff like that on the front. Or the inside front if you're going to split hairs. Well, do I dare talk about the weather? Diane's mad at it, so I wasn't going to bring it up. It is a little better today. It's not quite as hot. And I don't remember when the last time I didn't make a video yesterday, but it was hot again. So we're supposed to be low mid 80s for a couple days and then be hot again. Yeah, my backyard lawn, there's a big section in the back that's it's not totally burnt out, but getting real dry. And I've lived in this house longer than I care to admit. I have mentioned it here, but anyway, I've never seen that in all these years. I have never seen it be that dry. And oh, you're cutting too. Sorry, I didn't know that. Forgive me. But yeah, this is the longest dry spell we've had in a number of years, too. Well, since we started cutting this one, it's not bad. There's a house a few doors down that has a sycamore in the front. And when those leaves fly around, actually, that's pretty. Maybe I'll keep that. Those leaves fly around in the fall. They're huge. How many boards do you think I'll get out of this? A lot. And I want to use it all up. It's either going in the recycle or going on a board. I'm not putting it back in the box. Well, I can't anyway because it was overflowing. Well, that just needs a color or something like that behind it. We need something for over here and here. Diane, I think you're brushing the camera with your hair. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Did I already say that a lot this, but a lot of this stuff is big. Which maybe that's why it's been sitting here so long. That's not too old. And then I made a bunch of these. They're supposed to be look like Polaroids. They're magazine images. I thought it was a really cool idea and, you know, very simple to do. And I was going to put them in journals, but I never did because they look so simple and kind of, I was afraid recipients would be like, well, hey, you know, did you go to too much trouble? So I never used them. But we can use them here. This was part of the Rudolph room. Four Seasons. Here's some more of those. That was sort of fun to select images, see what you would think would look nice as a Polaroid. That was kind of fun. It's like being a designer. So what do you do with all your stuff that's sitting and you don't use it? This is a nice project too if you're feeling a little uninspired. You don't want to do a big hairy project. You do something like this. All right, there and there. What about this? I think this was from Rudolph's room too, which wound up being outside, which is why it's in here. All right, right there. No, you know, it was something like that. I mean, that's really cool. Isn't that fun? But yeah, where's Diane ever going to use that? On a masterboard. Or that. This is another McCall's. And yes, it feels like a back cover if you really want to know. Okay. All right, that may need a tad of filling in there, but now don't blow away. Which actually today it's a little oh, these are file folders. Should I say that? Those are file folders. It's a little breezy today, although I don't notice much coming in the house. But that was another weird thing with this weather. It was so still. Like every single day and night, it was kind of like you're living in a terrarium or something. It was actually, I said, my husband came walking in the kitchen one night and I said, you know, something with this weather. And he goes, I know what you're going to say. It's really weird. I'm like, yeah, just he's lived in this area his whole life too. So it's, I don't know, seems weird. So it's not just me. All right, here's something to discuss because it's so important. Has anybody out there heard of grid journaling? I think that's what it's called. I just recently became aware of that because of a couple videos. Um, I was thinking, I haven't done it yet, of putting together, I'm getting off topic, I know, a one or two December daily Christmas um, ephemera packs or just papers and scrapbook papers and book pages and whatnot because I'm not doing that kind of stuff anymore. So what am I going to do with all the Christmas stuff I have and that? Anyway, I will throw that in there. But anyway, back to grid journaling. I've only watched a couple videos about it, so I really don't know much about it, which is why I'm bringing it up. So am I right? It really has nothing to do with journaling, as in memory keeping writing. Is that correct? It's like working in a journal, I guess is why they're calling it journaling. But it's, well, any size you want. Squares in a row on a page, or it can be different shapes, but I guess the idea generally is squares. And then you do what I've seen. They're all similar, but it's mixed media. It's collage. It's paint. It's trying different techniques. I guess. Listen, yeah, I don't know. If you know, if you know or you've done it or anything, let me know. I mean, the results are really cool. But like I guess I haven't seen enough of it to want to try it or whatever. I would have to watch more videos to know what I'm kind of doing. So there, think about that. I suppose that would be really good. A project like that. I was going to say thing, a thing like that. If this, what I just said, the same thing, you kind of didn't know what to do, you were stuck or just a little uninspired. That would be a good route, a good thing to do. All right, what other great topics are there to discuss in the world? Well, by the time you see this, let's see, what's today? If you really want to know, today is September 17th. I could be getting close to Halloween by the time you see this video. This is a copy of an old lilac odor. They should have probably put aroma, don't you think? Actually, I like the smell of the odors of lilacs. Yeah, I have 3 lilac trees with this dry spell. They're not looking too hot. I did soak them a few days ago. I guess I should do that again, but yeah, I'm a little worried about them. Maybe this drought will affect their odors. Which, of course, I'm kidding. Their blooming season is in the spring. They're not blooming. It is not spring here. Far from it. Yeah, we're about as far away from spring as you can get at this point. Well, that's pretty good there, and then I could just trim the bottom of this. All right, well, how long have we been talking about odors and weather and droughts and grid journaling? I can't read it. 17 minutes. Well, you get the idea. Go get all the junk that's sitting around and you don't know what you're going to do with it and put it on a master board. And then the master boards can sit around because you don't know what to do with them. But I will definitely come back and let you see the finished boards. I think that's kind of interesting what they look like. And then maybe by then I'll have made a decision what I want to do with them. If not, move on to another video. Okay, hang on you guys. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, let's catch up a little bit. I have 6. So I'm going to take a look. Kind of interesting, I think. There is a bra ad on this one. In case you're a little offended, be aware. Okay, I still have a lot of stuff over here. And I thought, well, all right, just keep making more. Make more. Who cares? Well, I guess I care because I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these. I'm thinking, though, yeah, what about glue book? I'm thinking covers, which you could certainly use it for anything you wanted. But, you know, that's kind of cool. Do you think? And then there'd be no waste of cutting stuff apart. I will say the scale of this stuff is a little large to make something small like ATC or smaller tags. You could certainly remedy that by adding stuff or painting here and there or whatever, but okay, so if I want to do that, you're making 6, that's a lot. So I don't think I'm going to keep covering stuff now. Okay, how are you going to make the covers? I'm thinking fabric. I like to do that. It's a nice feel. I did think of just, well, glue stuff inside, then, you know, that would be pretty substantial. But I don't know. I just thought that actually is getting to be too much. I'm not definitely sold on fabric yet, but that's how I'm leaning. So anyway, assuming I follow through with this, it's going to be kind of a lot of work. 6 covers, 6, you know, pages, signatures. But I'm thinking, what if some of this stuff I decorate pages with? And, you know, that gives people a little jumping off point, a little, you know, take away from the blank page thing. So that's my thought. You have better thoughts? Write it in the comments, and maybe if I do this again, I'll think, oh yeah, I should do that. But that's where we are. So I'll see you days from now, months from now. I'm kidding, but probably a couple days from now when they're done. And I will try to sell them in my shop. We know how that goes, but you can try, right? Okay, hang on, and I will be back with the finished product. Okay, gang, it is days later. This took a long time. As you guys know, I don't have craft time 9 to 5, and this is, 6 books. That's a lot of work. So anyway, they're done. I think they're pretty cool. I am calling these like glue books, but you could certainly do anything you want with them. These are going in my shop. They're all a little different in size. Some have thicker spines than others. They all have fabric over the spines. They all have a 5-hole stitch binding. So it's the file folder with stuff all over it, and then they're sewn to fabric. That is the covers, okay? So the stuff, obviously it varies. It is mostly vintage, but that's a newer magazine image. This is a newer magazine image. So it varies. This is an old broom label, actually. Okay, with the exception of this one, they all have a scrapbook paper label on the front. But since this has these spaces here, a label, it didn't even look right, even if I wanted to put it on, so I didn't put it on. So this one is 5 1/4 by 6 5/8. It has 72 pages, counting front and back. Okay, all the pages are unadorned. I was going to adorn them a little bit because I have all this stuff left, which is why I didn't clear it off if you're thinking I'm being a slob. But I don't know. I mean, I could definitely do that. But if you want to use this as a glue book, I thought that was taking away from what a new owner would do. So what I decided to do, each book somewhere along the line has a sack, paper bag as pockets. I'm going to stuff stuff in the pockets. So it's going to be a mix of vintage images, magazine images, newer magazine images. These are old Reader's Digest images. Part of a greeting card there. Stamp catalog. Little border things. I went through some scrapbook paper scraps. And yeah, don't get too excited about that. That's strictly scrappy stuff. But you could make journal cards out of them. You could use little snippets for accents or borders or something. There's a few pieces of wrapping paper in there. I went through my playing cards. Everybody will get some playing cards. Okay. So actually, I thought that would be kind of fun. So this one, it does have a seam. This is old fabric. It's like a heavy kettle cloth. I used to call that stuff. But anyway, that's just what it was. And I don't know what it was. A relative gave it to me. It was something. But anyway, that one has a seam. I think it's okay. You don't like it, don't buy it. Construction paper, old cross-stitch pattern with the absolute gooniest pattern I've ever seen in my life. Please cover that up. Okay, so this is a bag with your pocket. Wrapping paper, old school paper, lightweight scrapbook. Going back. We have a book page. Easter egg dyed notebook paper. Old stamp album page. Heavier weight scrapbook. There are a few shorter pages. There are a few narrower pages. But generally speaking, the pages are the size they should be. Book page. An old leaflet for crocheting or knitting. I don't know what that is. You want to really know? What is it? Knitting. Coloring book page. Old school page. Book page. Old school workbook page. Some kind of letterhead paper. Heavier weight scrapbook. Okay. Okay. A lot of the pages are similar since I made these all at once, but some are different too. This one is 5.5 by 6 3/4. And closed caption never gets those measurements right. They always, sometimes they do it numerically, sometimes they write it out. Half the time they don't get it right, and it'll say like 6 and scrapbook, scrapbook. I'm not going to identify everything. Every other bag, henceforth, is one of these vintage looking ones. That blue chevron was the only one like that I had. Coloring book, another leaflet thing. Old calendar. It was actually like a date book type thing. Wrapping paper. Oh, I didn't say the page number on this, did I? This one has 56 pages, counting front and back. Did I say the parrot one? That was 72. All right, this one has 72 pages also. It's 5 1/8 by 6 3/8. I will try to divide all that, the book page, all this ephemera up evenly. I'll do my best. And as I said, you can do whatever you want with this once you buy it. It could be a junk journal. You could glue whatever you want in it. I have a friend who I've given her a few journals that were more decorated. She just leaves them. She doesn't want to use them, which I told her, use them. That's why I made it. No, I like it. I like it the way it is. Okay, leave it. This one is 5 by 7 5/8, and it has 72 pages. I didn't overly stuff them because they will bulk up, obviously, when you add stuff. And, 72 pages, that's a lot. Unless, yeah, you do have 9 to 5 craft time. It takes a while to fill one of these up, so I didn't want to overly, stuff it with pages so an owner is thinking they'll never fill it up like some of us do. This is wrapping paper, book page. This is scrapbook here. It's a book page about making dolls that actually has writing on it, an old school workbook page. Okay. This one has 56 pages. It's 5 1/4 by 8 1/8. Scrapbook. This is scrapbook. Oh, is this the one? Yeah. Like the eyes on the wig stand. Isn't that funny? I thought it was funny. Maybe you want to cover it up. Go ahead. Here's your bag. Okay. And lastly, this one is 5 3/8 by 8. And didn't this work out perfectly? I wasn't sure where to put the label, and I thought, well, green by the green. Oh, contents was already there. So, yeah, that was meant to be. Oh, okay, this one has the bra. The don't poke your eyes out on it, 50s, 40s bra, okay? I'll try to remember to put that in the listing if you don't want a bra ad on your book, which I can see that. If you don't mind, that's good too. This is old coloring book. Yeah, this is sort of a centerfold here. Do you like her earrings? I think that's why her head is like that. She can't hold her head up. Scrapbook, book page there with some Sesame Street. Okay. All right, I have a lot of photos to shoot for Etsy. I have ephemera to stuff. And I will point out, I'm glad I did this. It was a great use of all this stuff. I did really get that box down a lot. I did. But if you want to do this, you may want to take a little more time. And, I was doing the masterboard, not sure what I was going to do with it. So there was like this one, it was just the tail end of a bird. Well, that looks stupid. So I put that over it. There were a couple that had, interesting stuff on the spine. Well, it's covered. If I knew I was going to do this ahead of time, I probably would have just put like magazine text or something in the spine area. So think about that. But if you want to make just a bunch of master boards and have them at your disposal, that's cool too. So, all right, everyone, a long project, but it's done. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.